Canton charge. They will have Devon Dotson running the show at the point guard spot. First year out of Kansas and a second-team consensus All-American. Meanwhile, Austin, typically it's a two-headed monster of Trey Jones' site. Austin in the black jerseys, Canton in the white, and the Spurs will take the opening possession. Off glass, that's Cam Reynolds. The lefty in his third year out of Tulane opens the scoring for Austin.
Really like the attack by Cam Reynolds. You know, one thing that I'm looking for from Canton is that defensive intensity and that defensive pressure. They did not start with that against OKC.
On the pull-up, that's off target, and it's down to Devon Dotson, who, as mentioned, the point guard for this Canton squad. And a whistle on the pass-off attempt.
I like Devon Dotson. Coach Nate Ranking wants him to run the show, be vocal, set the pace, and attack the rim to create for his teammates. But there he was able to draw the foul.
So this is a Canton squad coming off of a loss this past weekend against Oklahoma City, where they were out-rebounded by 26. Floater is there for Sheldon Mack.
And that was something I was really not looking forward to see, but I was interested to see how Canton was going to handle Shamanich and Robert Woodard II on the glass. They kind of caught a break with Shamanich not playing because he's such a strong rebounder.
Sheldon Mack opens the scoring for Canton, getting the start today over Antonio Blakeney, as the ball movement leads to a three-point attempt for Kenny Williams. Trey Jones on the ball defensively against Dotson. A couple of rookies going at it. This is Mack, who's been praised for his consistent play by his head coach, giving it up to Sir Dominic Pointer for a chance at three.
Really nice job with the pocket pass. Sheldon Mack coming off the screen. Really a re-screen by Pointer. Excellent job, those two. 1-2 punch. Pass right where it needs to be. And the finish at the rim.
Pointer, now a sixth-year pro out of St. John's, completes a three-point play to tie it up at 5.
I like the ball movement so far by Austin. I feel like they're swinging it around. It's not really getting stuck. They didn't hit the shot there, but offensively, they've got good ball movement so far.
Yeah, while Canton has 7 players in double figures, Austin counters with 6, averaging at least 10. Pointer from the corner. That goes for 3. Loose ball scooped up. And the other way comes Levi Randolph.
That's quality defense by Canton. That's the shot you want Trey Jones taking. Falling away from the basket, not going into it, scoring over defense. Nice job on him.
Pointer driving in, a paint touch and a kick out. Randolph throws it low. It was last touched by Kyler Kelly. At the end of the shot clock, doesn't hit iron, and it's to Austin. A team that's undefeated, but with 4 wins of no more than 8 points each. Last time out, it was a 116-111 victory over Fort Wayne, and so while Austin has been perfect, they have not been dominant.
And I was impressed by the way that they pulled out that win in their game against the Mad Ants. You know, they were down double figures in the third quarter, fought back, clawed back. They really got tempo going. It was Šamanić who took over in the fourth quarter, though. So if this ends up being a close game, I'm interested to see who takes over.
Williams knocking down another three. That's a deep look for Sheldon Mack. That's off target. As mentioned, Šamanić out. Officially not playing with a strained finger on his left hand. And Cam Reynolds knocking down another three for Austin in this opening frame. 3 of 4 as a team beyond the arc.
They've been able to get some threes in transition. It's almost like they're just stepping right into their shot, shooting it in rhythm, nice and smooth. I like when Austin plays with pace and has momentum and really shoots in rhythm.
Into the paint for Randolph. Missing inside at 10 feet. Cam Reynolds, pull up. Triple, that's short. Here comes Aaron Epps stepping through and gets called for the offensive foul.
I like the attack in transition, but you've got to know when to pull it out. Renfro, nice job just staying set. Not going for a block shot, feet set, take that contact.
Nate Renfro is checked in for the Austin side. The league's best shot blocker on the young season. Woodard the second on the deck. Into Pointer, he's number 2 in blocks. And he had a denial there. But following it up for Austin was Williams. And the second chance opportunity at the rim doesn't go. Mack running the floor, and that's where Canton thrives. They want their offense to be generated by good defense and transition.
That's exactly right. Defense to offense. Let your defensive energy dictate your offense. Look, here they go again. Look to attack. You had 3-on-1. Can we take advantage?
They do. It's a triple from Pointer.
Canton looks good when they can get going in transition and score early. And like we already talked about, they've got a lot of weapons. Pointer's been playing really well so far.
Combined 4 threes in this contest. Kick out Williams. He already has 2. But prior to the shot, an offensive foul, which brings us to our first break. 24 players, or 45% of players on opening night rosters had G League experience. You saw from that graph that the record keeps getting broken every year, and every team has at least 4. Toronto, which has been known for its player development, leads with 11 of their 17 players having G League experience.
I love it. I feel like the talent has just exploded in the G League. You know what? I remember I had to be about a freshman in college. I'm not going to say who I was talking to, but in talking about the D League, there was just kind of this sense that it wasn't where you wanted to be. It wasn't where this player wanted to be. It had kind of a dark cloud over it, and the G League has just exploded. It's been so fun to watch these guys compete so hard and then have opportunities at the next level.
20th season, it's gone through a handful of name changes. Started as the National Basketball Development League, and then the NBA D League, and the Gatorade sponsorship for the last 4 years, known as the G League. No hyphen, Andrea, just in case you were curious, between the G and the league.
No hyphen, just the G. I like it, though. G, it just sounds, it's got a little edge to it.
What do you think that player would be saying now if you had that same conversation?
You know what? I might have to ask that player. I'm not going to say who it is because, you know, they've gone on to have a great career. But I think that they would have a lot of respect for all of these guys out here and their talent. I mean, these are really skilled guys. In the games, they're competitive, they're fun, they're executed well. I think he would have a lot of great things to say. I'll ask him next time I talk to him.
Canton leading by 4, shooting 50% from the field, and that increases with the strong take by Sheldon Mack. He got the starting nod today over Antonio Blakeney, who has checked in for Canton off the bench. London Parentes. Oh, a block. There was a big dunk attempt, and Sir Dominic said no.
Not today. Not on Sir Dominic. And then look, the big block right down the court for the 3 by Randall. Nice. Love the defensive energy by Sir Dominic Pointer down low.
In our conversation with Nate Ranking, the head coach of Canton, he wanted to see an increase in defensive intensity, hoping that leads to transition and better ball movement, and we saw it on the last possession. And we see it there as Randolph is heading to the line after the beautiful bounce pass.
A block like this just gives your team so much. And look at the elevation and the extension. Just meet me at the top. Coming down the court, Levi Randolph feeling all that energy, just a smooth lift on that three-point shot. Really nice defense to offense from Canton.
That was an awesome meeting above the rim where you had the offensive player, Nate Renfro, the lead leader in blocks, going up against number 2, Sir Dom, who got the better of him in that exchange. Canton rolling. They did score 14 straight prior to that 3 for Malik Pope that ends the run. Here's Blakeney, described as a bucket getter, going right at the rim, and that's a member's bounce.
Oh, yeah, you said it, David. Described as a bucket getter. Coach Ranking said his skill is to get buckets. They want him to be aggressive and score. Nice take.
That rim was smart. Like, the rim knew that Blakeney's going to be back, and so they wanted to get off, on the right foot to start.
Right.
Blakeney is just a slasher, gets to the rim.
Well, and you know what I like about his game is he doesn't need a lot of dribbles. He's really efficient. He gets going downhill. He might probe the defense with 1 dribble, maybe 2, but he only needs 1 or 2 more to get to the rim. Just a really efficient slasher. Some guys, they take a lot of dribbles. They break you down. They're going to make moves. Blakeney just gets right to it.
Parentes throws to the paint. His target there was Renfro, but it's out of bounds. There's a look at 5th-year head coach Nate Ranking, an elder statesman in the G League, longest tenured coach. This is the first game he is coaching this season for Canton because he left Florida January 4th to welcome his 3rd kid, Easton. Congratulations to Nate and family on the welcoming of their most recent child. And so after returning, or going back to Ohio for a couple days after the birth and returning to Florida, he has finished his quarantine and he is back on the sideline as Malik Pope on the slashing drive. Matt Nielsen in his first season leading Austin after spending last year as an assistant under G League championship winning head coach Blake Ahern.
Really like the attack. Smooth, finishing through contact. In the rule, 1 free throw. It would be 1 here for an and 1. But I like the rule. I don't know what you think about it, David, but I like the rule of 1 free throw being for 1 point, 2 points, or 3 points.
I don't mind it, but I never played, and so every player I ask, they seem to, it takes time for them to warm up to it because the free throw line is typically the place where they would gain some rhythm, and so decreasing the number of attempts that you get perhaps limits the opportunity you get to get in your groove.
I could definitely see that.
Pointer.
Nice transition.
Ahead of the fields. Austin once again continuing its strong defensive presence over the year. Blake Ahern really established that and continued that from Ken McDonald's And Austin this season, statistically one of the better defensive teams, but not getting back in transition on that last possession.
Sir Dominic Pointer has come with all the energy. I'm taking it up and throwing it down. He's got defense.
App. That game tomorrow got a G League call-up, or a Gatorade call-up, I should say, originally scheduled for ESPNU. A little bump to E2. G League Ignite at 4-0, capturing the imagination of the basketball world that enjoys watching young prospects excel at the pro level.
They're fun to watch. You know, to have so many stars and so many prospects, they play really well together. I just think that they're fun to watch. They deserve the call-up.
Antonio Blakeney. He is playing at this single site on the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex, 18 miles away from Oak Ridge High School near Orlando, where he played his prep ball and where he was named Florida Mr. Basketball and earned McDonald's All-American honors. So he's comfortable in the climate. And here he is driving, dishing. Tyshawn Alexander, well short.
I like the contest on the perimeter. If you're guarding Tyshawn Alexander, you know that's what he's looking to do, shoot the three.
Jalen Morris, a good block on the closeout against one of the top shooters in the league. Alexander at 59% from beyond the arc this season, and Malachi Richardson heading to the line.
Excellent corner kick. I really like when you can get a baseline drive. When the defender just turns their head, that's when you make the pass.
Next is now. The players to watch are already making moves. Follow the latest NBA prospects with the NBA G League app. Download it for free from the App Store. It's a good buy. It's a good bargain. And every single day, the amount of content that the G League is producing, individual highlights, full game highlights, and some really cool shots and behind-the-scenes looks at the prospects and the pros throughout the league, really makes you feel like you're down there on the single site.
That's a lot of fun. I love the content that they've been producing because, like you said, it takes you there. And these guys, they're going through a lot. You know, they're in quarantine, they're competing, they're playing, they're trying. All of these players want to play in the NBA. I feel like just this event in general, it's special. You want to see what these guys are going through.
5 of 8 from beyond the three-point line. And then a turnover by Parentes.
Austin needs to try and get into a little bit more of a flow offensively. Attacking in transition, I think they're really strong in their transition game, but once they get into the half-court, ball movement, player movement, try and get some of those lanes to the basket.
So Austin is looking sharp in these Fiesta Edition uniforms, which mimic what San Antonio wears on occasion, but their offense has not been sharp, playing without Luka Šamanić, who is on the sidelines with a sprained finger on his left hand. And Canton has opened up a 20-point first quarter lead. Blakeney on the pull-up.
Antonio Blakeney has come to play today. He's already had a couple of big performances, 19 points against Memphis. He had 16 against OKC. But those were losing efforts. He looks like he's playing in one. They want to get a win here.
He won G League Rookie of the Year back in the 17-18 season when he was a first-year pro out of LSU. Couple of trips down the floor where the clock needed to be adjusted. It stops after every made field goal. Parentes milking the clock. 5-second differential. Parentes on the pull-up. Blakeney turns up the Jets. Tyshawn Alexander couldn't hit to complete the quarter. They introduced this professional path 2 years ago, and nobody took the G League up on its offer. And it modified the program, and last April, Jalen Green, the #1 recruit in the class of 2020, according to the ESPN Top 100, accepted the invitation, and it's, as they say, the rest is history. With Andrea Carter, David Resnick, Malachi Richardson out of Syracuse knocking down a triple. Canton trying to even its record at 2-2. Austin facing a massive hole as they try to protect their undefeated record.
Well, you know, Coach Nate Ranking, he talked to us, David, and when I asked him, what would you like to see more of? He said, well, I'd like to see, you know, us hit more shots. And I think Canton has definitely listened to what he would like to see more of. I also think we're definitely seeing the effect of not having Luka Šamanić on the floor for Austin. What he does for their offensive flow. They can ISO him. They run him off stagger screens. He creates. He rebounds. I think they're missing his presence and still trying to figure out how to work without him on the floor, and it's showing.
Just the third turnover committed by Canton. And what so far has been a near perfect first half. Kenny Williams fading away. Trey Jones picks it up and off balance. Epps got the block, but then he bounced it right to Kyler Kelly for the easy Austin deuce.
There we go, Kyler Kelly sticking with the play. He was rewarded for hustling to that opposite corner and saving the ball.
Charles Matthews, Tyshawn Alexander, Malachi Richardson, Antonio Blakeney, and Aaron Epps, the lone starter out there for Canton. 3 seconds to shoot. Matthews getting to the rim, and Kelly with the good defensive play.
So you see the hustle coming to the corner. He saves the ball, and then it's a little helter-skelter. Trey Jones trying to stick with it. And look, right back to you. The one thing you don't want to do is save the ball under the opponent's basket. Kyler Kelly, he got paid off for that one.
Kenny Williams followed it up, but could not hit. Devon Dotson leads the break. Matthews denied. Reynolds, good stroke.
There we go. Austin taking a little page out of Canton's book. The defense, the block on one end, and then that transition three-pointer. That was a great block by Robert Woodard II.
.20 Canton lead. Austin without its leading scorer. Here's Williams working in concert with Kelly. I think that was meant to be skipped to the wing. Instead, it was intercepted and then turned over. Epps can stretch the floor. Doesn't hit that time. Long rebounds. Trey Jones takes it on the run. Inside Kelly. A one-handed spike.
Trey Jones with the nice find. I like the energy from Kelly on both ends.
Senior player and assistant coach.
They're fun to watch play. Watched their game yesterday. Defensive energy. They communicate. You know, defense, I feel like, is a chemistry thing, too. A lot of people talk about offense being chemistry, and you need chemistry on the offensive end. You need it on the defensive end, and they really play team defense, which I like.
Trey Jones trying to operate. He finds Kelly. Another second quarter dunk for the 7-footer out of Oregon State.
Trey Jones and Kelly have a nice connection. Good little 1-2. Jones has been able to find him a couple of times on the roll.
Catch and shoot Matthews. Another miss from deep. Kelly the rebounds. Reynolds. Out of the hands of Kelly. Dotson was there. He'll take it end to end. Trey Jones already with 5 assists. That time he throws it up himself. 2-on-0. Easy lay-in for Mack. Would you be a dunker or a lay-in person?
I would 100% be a dunker. Definitely dunking the basketball. See, like that. That'd be me.
First points for Woodard II getting the start today in place of Luka Šamanić. An offensive foul.
See, in the dunk right here, that pass, I love the catch with the left hand, throwing it down in the middle. And then just offensive aggression on the boards, Robert Woodard II. Nice dunks.
Austin out-rebounding Canton 23-16, so -7 for the charge, and yet that is an improvement from their last effort on Sunday where they were out-rebounded by 26 against Oklahoma City. Nate Ranking, when we spoke to him and we asked him about the rebounding issues, I thought he had a great response by saying, I think rebounding will be in the game cut we show to the guys on game day.
No, they're definitely going to see that in film. They'll see it in film from this game as well. You know, playing without Marquise Bolden, he's kind of that inside presence. He would give them that rebounding edge. But rebounding is a team thing. You have to make an effort, every single person, to box out and pursue the basketball.
Jones, the only player in the league averaging better than 10 assists. Already has 5 in this first half. Kelly forced into a tough shot, and he bags it anyway.
Nice pull-up jumper. You know, I really feel like Canton is doing a good job at plugging drives. If you watch, when any player from Austin attacks, there's 1 or 2 Canton players kind of blocking the lane, and they've made it tough to get all the way to the basket.
Trailer is hit. Williams missing from 3. A battle for the rebound, and Jones collects. The reverse layup is there.
How can you cut into a big deficit, right? Energy, sticking with the play, being a little bit more gritty, a little bit tougher. That's how Austin can get back into this.
It was 25, and now it's down to 14. Ball is sticking now on the Canton side after great ball movement through the first 12 minutes. Jones on the drive, gets all the way in and draws the whistle. Sheldon Mack commits the foul and then makes sure Jones, who hit hard, is okay.
Trey Jones does such a nice job at getting his shoulders past his defender. On the first line of defense, he ducks his shoulders, gets it past the defender's hip, and it just gives him that edge to attack.
First year out of Duke, where he won the ACC Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year honors last year, becoming just the 2nd player in conference history to accomplish that. Malcolm Brogdon, who played for UVA and now is in the NBA with Indiana, the first to do it. That free throw worth 2 points as part of the experimental free throw rule in the G League. He was fouled in the act of shooting a 2, but he shot 1 free throw worth 2 points.
You know, you said, David, that last possession by Canton, the ball was stagnant. I love that they come down the court on this possession and get right into a weave action. So it automatically gave them some player movement.
Williams, the floater, too strong off the back of the iron. Had the chance to cut it to 10. This is Mack taking it on the run, high off the glass. And a late whistle. Or beg your pardon. Could have been a loose ball foul instead of in the act. Nope, it was Mack in the act of shooting.
I like the attack by Sheldon Mack. As soon as he caught the basketball, only needed a second to make that read right off the catch and go.
So similar to Jones on the other end, Mack fouled in the act of shooting at 2. So just one free throw there worth 2 points. And if you were fouled in the act of shooting at 3 and you didn't make it, you would shoot one free throw worth 3. Second year of that experimental rule. A bullet pass to the cutter. Goaltending called. Sir Dominic Pointer doesn't agree. Wanted his coach to challenge. We'll have another look at it.
Well, of course you're not going to agree with it.
What say you?
I don't know. I feel like he hit it off the glass. I don't know if it hit the glass first. I usually side on the side of the defender, though, if I'm being honest. I'm a defensive player myself. Well, I was a defensive player myself, so I always like to favor inside of the defense.
So the tie and the not-so-tie goes to the defense?
Yes. Yes.
Canton has struggled from the field this quarter, hitting just 3 of 13.
Well, they haven't really been able to get out in transition like they did in the first quarter. Looked like Sir Dominic Pointer took a shot.
He's had quite the start, 15 points. There he is, 15 in white. As Anthony Mathis gets called for the foul, trying to establish position, defensive position, I should say. Approaching the 3-minute mark, second quarter. Canton had a 25-point lead in the first quarter. Austin has trimmed it to 10. 2 to shoot. Randolph spinning off the back of the iron and down to Kelly for the rebound. Number 7 for him.
It's a nice defensive stand by Austin. And if you notice, when Canton shoots the basketball, there aren't many players crashing the glass at all, which is great for Austin because you can get the rebound and run.
Kelly with the nice touch on the turnaround. It is down to single digits for the first time since it was 22-14, back with 4 minutes to go in the first. So about 14 minutes where Canton had a double-digit lead, but that is the case no longer. That brings us to a mandatory timeout. Austin on the move in the bubble. Setup down the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex is 2 courts with games being played simultaneously, and inside of the field house, Agua Caliente doing battle against Salt Lake City. That contest in the first, 6-point difference. If you're so inclined, and if you have another screen, I wouldn't suggest that you football away from this game, but it happens to be playing on ESPN+.
You can just flip on over at halftime. Check it out. We got a good game here. You know, maybe when the lead was 25, but in this league, you know, those leads, they don't last very long. So we've got a game on our hands.
That's a good compromise, and the games are staggered, you know, for that reason. That allows a fan to bounce around and always check out the closing minutes of close games. Kelly slashing in. Kyler Kelly in the starting lineup, 10 points, 7 rebounds, a perfect 5 of 5 from the field.
He does such a good job at moving on penetration, right? Spacing far enough to receive the pass and put it right in.
2 Spurs mistimed their jump, and luckily Canton had retreated. Nobody was crashing the offensive glass. Kelly wanted a big one.
Like the energy by Kyler Kelly. He wants it. So even right here, look, making the cut. There's a lot of times where a big man will cut and get in the way. Kyler Kelly does not do that. He's right where he needs to be to receive the pass and put it down.
What does that tell you about his basketball awareness?
Well, it just shows that he has a great basketball IQ, because timing your cuts on penetration can either be really, really good or really bad, right? And so you have to read your player and their eyes and what they're doing, but you also have to read the defenders around the person with the basketball. So high basketball IQ making those kind of cuts.
Is there like a guard support group out there that Sir Dominic Pointer slams it down, like where you guys get together and talk about bigs that get in your way?
No, but there is a guard support group, or there needs to be one, for bigs not calling full court ball screens, because you know, when a post player stays up and sets a ball screen at half court and it doesn't get called, that just, you know, that's traumatic. You need a support group for stuff like that.
London Parentes knocks it down. I suppose you have the battle scars to show for the times where your bigs didn't bail you out there, and it's right back to Austin.
Their emotional wounds, David, they cut deep. But I've really been impressed with Austin. They've kind of battled back. They stopped giving up transition points to Canton. Canton has been sprinting back to limit Austin in transition, and they've had to execute on the offensive end in the half court, and they've done so.
Reynolds lost it on the way up. Trying to battle for it against Randolph and wouldn't give up until Levi had firm control. 3-on-3 the other way. Blakeney, a quick step to the baseline and a slam.
Efficient in attacking. Very nice job attacking the baseline by Antonio Blakeney.
11 points off the bench for Blakeney. 1 of 3 in double figures for Canton. 5 seconds to go. Parentes thought he got fouled. Austin will hold on to it with plenty of time to shoot. Into Reynolds, fading away. It's a brick. Kelly got the rebounds, but ran out of time.
It's effective in so many different ways that first half.
With Andrea Carter, David Resnick, second half underway. Just an 8-point game after Canton grew a 25-point lead in the opening quarter. This is Levi Randolph on the drive. He is short. On the floor with Sir Dominic Pointer, Aaron Epps, Sheldon Mack, Devon Dotson. The starting 5 for Canton return to begin the third. Cam Reynolds, Robert Woodard II, Kyler Kelly, Kenny Williams, and Trey Jones. The starting 5 for Austin out there as well. And this is Trey Jones opening up the scoring.
Trey Jones doing what he does best, just getting to the paint. It's got to be so frustrating to know exactly what a player wants to do and not be able to stop it.
Jones called for the travel.
See if he took an extra step. Here's a little hop skip there.
Well, you've already established that you favor the defense on the close calls, so that was a very generous description of it.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Dotson a chance at the free throw line.
Devon Dotson with the attack. Look at this tight spin move. He gets the ball so close to his body. I've noticed when I watch him play, he kind of protects the ball like a running back when he drives. He gets a really good grip, keeps it close to his body. That was a quick spin move.
As we get to see Austin back on offense after the made free throw, you know, it's big news right before the game to have Luka Shamanich, right? Yeah, wow. Good save.
No, I got you.
Not in the starting lineup. So it almost felt like Austin was trying to feel its way through not having that presence in the first.
Oh, definitely.
Woo! Sir Tom.
Talk about feeling a presence. But no, you're absolutely right, David. You know, I feel like, and it's hard with Luka Shamanich because he does so many things, and a lot of their offense runs through him. He may not be who finishes the play, but a lot runs through him. And this is what Canton has needed to get back to, that transition offense. They had that in the first quarter. So look, defense into offense. That's what Canton wants to do. So you get the steal. We saw this a few times in the first quarter, and then finish the play in a big way. Steal, offense, push, run, same thing. Two different players, same exact result.
This is how the game started for Canton. Woodard the second knew it on the release, called it short, and he was right. Sheldon Mack probing.
Really nice use of just a slight hesitation. The hesitation makes it seem like you're going to pass. The defense relaxes, and he's able to finish.
It's a held ball. Kenny Williams going with the step over, and it was tied up.
There have been a couple times that an Austin player has been attacking, and there hasn't been very much space there. Could have called a jump ball.
Well, never mind. It looked like the lead official on the baseline wanted to call it a jump ball, but it goes down as a personal foul against Pointer, and Williams makes the free throw worth 2 points. All the way in for Dotson.
Devon Dotson has come out in the second half looking to get to the rim, the front of the rim. Really like the way he attacks.
Coming up on our NBA Wednesday doubleheader at 7:30 Eastern, the Houston Rockets take on the Philadelphia 76ers. Then it's the Miami Heat against the Golden State Warriors. Coverage begins with Stephen A. Smith's pregame, Sports Center at 7 on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Right there was something that I've already talked about. Driving, but not really having an opening to drive. Canton, they're really plugging the driving lanes, and that's what Coach Rankin said they wanted to do. They wanted to shrink the floor and not have as many lanes available for penetration, specifically for Trey Jones, but they've really done a nice job on everybody that's attacked.
15 Austin turnovers. Malachi Richardson in rhythm. Who opened the door? Ooh, the guy running the sound system is in lockstep.
Yes, I heard that too.
Whoever's running the music has a sense of humor. Parentes draws the foul. So what do you make of being able to hear everything as another look at Parentes drawing the foul there against Epps?
Nice job at staying strong through that contact. I like it. I really enjoy hearing what the players are saying and what, you know, the coaches are saying, and hearing, especially on the defensive end. I know I talk about defense a lot, but there's so much communication that happens on that end of the floor. You hear players calling cuts, calling screens, calling different actions. Hear the players on the bench. It just gives you a feel, kind of like you're almost on the team with them. You feel like you're hearing what they're saying and what they're trying to do.
Has it been this pronounced in your experience at the college game during your coverage?
Oh, it's louder here. It's definitely louder, and you can hear it a lot more here. I'm not sure what the difference is, but in the college game, you still hear it, but not nearly as loud.
A couple of poor possessions for Dotson in a row, a turnover and then a missed three. Woodard, the second, needed a little more lift. And now another turnover. Somebody needs to settle. It'll be Jalen Morris, now playing on his second team of this young season in the last 6 days. He entered Florida as an available player, picked up by Iowa for a couple of games, and now in his second game with Austin. And one of the best three-point shooters in the league to this point. That's Epps with a triple, as Canton has opened up a double-figure lead. And you can catch that game later tonight on ESPN+.
If Austin wants to remain an undefeated team, really have to take care of the basketball, limit points off turnovers, and limit turnovers in general.
Great look to Nate Renfro.
Love the attack and the find by Trey Jones. He's been doing it so far all season.
7 assists. Richardson heading to the free throw line. One free throw worth 2 points for Malachi Richardson.
All right, we got one, guys.
Malachi back stateside after stints in Israel and Italy last year. Originally drafted by Sacramento and played with the Kings and the Raptors over the course of 3 seasons. Defense in the backcourt by Parentes. And that leads to a chance at a free throw worth 2 points for Nate Renfro.
Really like the hustle by Parentes. You know, he got caught on that drive, really put himself in a tough position on the offensive end, but then made a hustle play and got the ball back. I like Renfro's game as well. You know, when he played in college, he was really that all-around player. Blocks, steals, rebounds, putting points on the board. He's played point guard in his life, so he can bring the ball up the floor. He can get the rebound and take the basketball full court. I like his game.
Sir Dominic Pointer run off the line, and he'll go to the charity stripe. Pointer with 15 points in the first quarter, 2 each in the second and the third. But it's one of those stat-stuffing type of performances with 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 blocks as well.
I like the way he's attacked and scored and ran the floor in transition, finished at the rim. He's hit some threes. Coach Ranking talks about Swiss Army knife, meaning you could do a little bit of everything, and he says that's what Cleveland is looking for as well, kind of the Swiss Army knife type of player, tough, gritty mentality.
Cleveland does have a roster spot available at the NBA level. There's Pointer, who earned a call-up last year to Cleveland but did not enter an NBA game.
See, even on that possession, David, just a heads-up cut, right? I mean, you can die on those type of plays and just kind of fade out, and nobody says anything if you do. It's okay. You just start the offensive possession. But he just cuts to the basket. Just a smart, quick play to score.
Under 5 to play. Canton plus 15. Blakeney, too much dribbling. Williams running the 2-on-1 with Nate Renfro. Antonio Blakeney will dribble it to his bench and call a charge timeout. Available on the ESPN app. That's all to say there is no excuse not to watch the next 3 G League Ignite games.
And there's really no reason you wouldn't want to watch the next 3 G League Ignite games. David, I know you had them recently, but Jalen Green, the effortless athleticism, what Rebecca Lobo said to describe him, and it's just so smooth. Really like his game. And Jarrett Jack, I feel like he is such a big key to that team.
Yeah, I think for all the platitudes that Jalen Green, Jonathan Kuminga, Dacian Nix, Isaiah Todd get, the addition of Dante Hall, a big, and Jarrett Jack, a 37-year-old, 14-year NBA vet who acts as a second coach on the floor in January, have been big difference makers for that team.
And I also think the willingness of those young kind of superstars to listen to the veterans, right? And take what they're saying and not play with a big head or play with a sense of arrogance. It says a lot about what they have going on that team. It's a really good balance.
So 2 players on G League Ignite, according to ESPN.com, will be 2 top 5 draft picks in this upcoming NBA draft. All 5 of them just their first year out of high school. 3 of them in college, 2 of them playing in the G League with Ignite down at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex.
True talent, just truly talented players. You know what I was thinking about? The 3-point line from high school to college, or the 3-point line from high school to the G League, there is a big difference there. So their ability to still be effective from beyond the arc is pretty next level.
Yeah, from straight away in the wings, you're talking 19-9 all the way out to now 23-9. And I suppose that the range for at every level, nobody steps up to the line anymore. But to your point, I mean, that's a big increase.
That just means they were pulling in high school right past half court, yeah, right? They were just pulling threes.
That's right. Some of those courts, high school courts, are a little cozy.
A little close together, a little tiny.
Pointer down the lane. Oh, he spikes it with authority.
What? Sir Dominic Pointer is making it. You said they've got a spot, and he looks like he is trying to get it. Just make your presence felt on the court, big man.
8 of 9 from the floor. It hasn't just been all dunks as Caleb Johnson goes to work on the offensive glass.
That was a good, strong finish by Caleb Johnson.
No transition D. Kenny Williams, the slam.
I like the defensive communication by Austin on this possession. Switching, talking. Now you've got to get it. Everybody's back for Canton, right? So you've got to come down and execute here.
Blakeney on the take. Sir Dominic Pointer. Extra pass, Richardson. That stays down.
What the Canton charge just did, David, is what should have happened for Austin the other time, the time down the court before that, right? Renfro, Sir Dominic Pointer is flying out to contest that shot. If you shot fake and attack, then you can create for your teammates. Canton just did it so nicely.
Good defense by Richardson to alter the Jones shot. Pointer throwing a bullet to Matthews out of bounds.
Look at the slam. Just a strong finish. And then he checked out his bench after that. Like, you see me, head at the rim, throwing it down. He's so bouncy, right? Just elevates off the floor.
You know, part of the setup down at the ESPN Wide World of Sports is a weight room layout next to a practice court. So if you really wanted a dunk and then go pump some iron, you could.
Right.
It would be a little strange, but it's possible.
Listen, you never know, right?
Be next level celebration.
Right. Let me just go grab this barbell and do some curls.
Final minute in the third. On the rip through, Jones commits the foul. Guarding Blakeney, who will head to the line.
It's been somewhat of a quiet day for Trey Jones. Just 6 points so far. I'm interested to see if he can take over in the fourth quarter. Canton's done a good job at containing him.
Woodard the second, wide open. Blakeney firing away, in and out. Steele, Richardson in the backcourt attacking the rim. Finishing through contact. Trey Jones beat the buzzer but couldn't connect. And it's back to a double-figure lead.
23 points, and it's not like he's just putting up a bunch of shots. He's 8 for 10, efficient, strong, 4 blocks, 5 rebounds, just an overall dominant presence on the court today.
There was a call-up announced earlier today. Chasen Randall from the Oklahoma City Blues signing a 2-way contract with the Orlando Magic. And so open roster spots are certainly on the minds of those participating in the G League season. Start of the fourth quarter as we welcome you back to the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex with Andrea Carter, David Resnick. And that's the reality, Andrea. I mean, most of these players, unless they're under NBA contract and are playing in the G League on assignment or their 2-way contract has been transferred, they're NBA free agents. And so while Sir Dominic Pointer plays for the Cleveland affiliate, he can be called up by any team. And there are 12 franchises starting this morning with an available roster spot to somebody in the G League.
And I think that's what's so special about the G League and just what these guys are going through, right? You have to balance wanting to play your best, and there he goes again, just showing out. knocking down another three-pointer, right? But you have to think, you want to play your best and showcase your talent, but you also have to be a team player, because the one thing you can't do is make it all about you. So there's a balance there in the G League.
Kenny Williams stepping his way for a lay-in. Charles Matthews off target, still scoreless today. 0 of 4 from the field. Austin holds on to it. Woodard the second lobbed it to the rim. Now this is Jones open. 0 of 2 from the three-point arc today. Now 0 of 9 on the season as he tries to make his first triple of the year.
And that's definitely the shot that you want Trey Jones taking. But that whole defensive possession by Canton, Tyshawn Alexander did a really nice job at plugging on the drive. Sir Dominic Pointer's active down low. And you give up a wide open three to Trey Jones, but really that's the best shot you can ask for from him because he's so good in the paint.
Just underway in the fourth. Malachi Richardson, a backup three. You mentioned going to break at the end of third quarter. Nate Ranking, the head coach for Canton, coaching in his first game on the sidelines. He had left Florida early in February to be present for the birth of his son, Easton. Sir Dom.
And he is back on the court with his team, and I know he likes that play. Really nice job. That's what you want to do. Attack, create for your teammates. If you're Devon Dotson, get into the paint. He made a nice behind-the-back move, but look at this. Find the shooter and find the hot hand. Sir Dominic Pointer has already knocked down a few. That's who you want to get the ball to. That's what a good point guard does.
Ranking would watch the games, take notes, text with GMs and executives, and he was watching it in such a way where he was able to replay it on the spot, speed up and through parts of the games to get back live. And so an odd experience for Nate to be watching the team that he coaches as they were playing.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be tough, right, when you think about a head coach. There have been so many. There have been a few head coaches in the college game that either with, not having a child, but with some COVID protocols or contact tracing, they've had to be at home watching their teams play. And it's got to be a tough experience to not be out there in the mix and really just kind of getting a feel for your team, too, because it's the start of the season.
Friendly roll for Dotson.
This is such a good defensive possession by Canton. Did you see every drive? They cut it off, right? They don't open up. They don't drop their back foot. They cut off. They put their nose on the basketball. Just a nice, really strong defensive possession.
Familiar perspective for Ranking, but a new one this season as he gets to watch on his team move the ball around for a good three and then crash the offensive glass for a lay-in. Charles Matthews pushes the lead back to 17. Canton doing a better job rebounding today, just -9 in that category after they were -26 over the weekend. And assisting on 21 of 31, about 2/3. Kenny Williams, corner pocket three. Ranking wants to see his team assists on about 75% of made field goals. Not quite at that level today, but in front by 14. Coming up later today, Greensboro and Delaware. The Bluecoats of Delaware undefeated at 3-0. And the fifth and final game later this evening, Oklahoma City and Fort Wayne. Those games coming up later tonight can be found on ESPN+. As for us, we've got 7.5 to go, and Canton trying to get back on the winning track.
We've seen Austin already this game cut down a big lead. They have a shot at doing it. They got to look to attack fast, and they have to get stops on defense.
A spinning 2 for Dotson. 12 points, 5 assists. And Andrea has pointed out a couple of the subtle plays that he has made in this corner. Woodard the second left all alone as Austin tries to make a push. Matthews floats it up and in.
And that starts with Dotson. The drive and the kick, right? Defenders turn their head. It creates a long closeout. Then you can attack.
Battle for the rebound along the baseline, saved. Renfro to Woodard the second. When the season started and the roster was announced, Kadeem Allen was meant to be part of this Canton squad, but he got waived after suffering an injury, and so perhaps a point guard position that Dotson was going to share with the NBA and G League veteran has now become his to hone. And a great opportunity for the first-year player out of Kansas on a two-way deal with Chicago to do that.
And I think he's done a nice job so far this season. You know, he's averaging 5.3 assists coming into this game and just making nice, strong heads-up plays, knowing when to spin and attack, knowing when to find your teammates. Look at how he tucks the ball and protects it. We've already seen that a couple of times this game, but on his spin moves, he keeps it tight and close to his body. He's not letting the basketball get far away from him. He's got a tight handle.
We mentioned that he is on a two-way deal with Chicago. He tries to pattern his game after Derrick Rose, current New York Knick, but former league MVP playing for the Bulls. So nice synergy there.
Definitely can see him modeling his game after Derrick Rose. With that spin move, very fitting.
Probably watched the highlight or two.
You know what I love that I feel like we have to mention when we talk to Coach Ranking about having so many different players that, you know, come from a different program, right, or a different affiliate program. And he said when they put on the Canton jersey, they're a part of the Canton family. And I feel like that's special, you know. I mean, you've got a lot of different players coming from different places, but you're all on the same team, and you just play with that sense of togetherness. And they've done that so far today.
Nate Ranking has 3 two-way players on his roster from 3 different organizations. Dotson from Chicago, Tyshawn Alexander from Phoenix, and Marquise Bolden, who's still out with a lower back injury, who has an NBA deal with Cleveland. But that's normal in this league, to have just a heterogeneous group of G-Leaguers, NBA assignment players, perhaps assignment players from a different team. And so it's par for the course, and it sounds from the outside like something complicated, but the uncertainty when it comes to your roster or putting it all together with different types of players from different organizations is pretty normal. Nate kind of shrugged off the idea that it was anything special.
And if you think about the one thing that all of these players have in common, no matter where they're from, they're wanting to do their best. They're all working with the same goal in mind. So it kind of just creates that commonality and the common ground between them. And I think it's exciting, too, with as many games that are happening, right, over these next few weeks. I think the level of play in the basketball is going to get better and better as these teams, even with the different changes, and I know things can change last minute, but as the core group of players play together more and more for each team, the basketball is just going to get better from here, and it's already been good.
Under 5 to play is into Sir Dominic Pointer, returning to the lineup with a game-high 29. It's a new G League career high for him. Shot clock violation as he falls to the ground, eclipsing the 26-point effort he had last March. And it far surpasses his previous season high of 17. And still has time to add to it.
Efficient as well. 10 for 12 from the field, 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. He's got 6 rebounds. He's got 4 blocks. You think about a Swiss Army knife, just getting it done. You can use him in so many different ways. On the offensive end, on the defensive end, he guards multiple positions. I've been really impressed with his performance.
Should be noted for the Austin side that Luka Šamanić did not play today. Their leading scorer, leading rebounder, averaging a double-double, out of the lineup today. And so for an undefeated team entering that had little margin for error in terms of their 4 victories, losing Šamanić was certainly a big deal.
Yeah, he's a crucial piece. You know, they have to be hoping to have him back soon, but it's next man up. You know, someone goes down, who's going to step up? I thought that Kyler Kelly did a really nice job in the first quarter, in the first half, really the second quarter at kind of making his presence felt, but we haven't seen much of him in the second half.
And that's been a position that Canton has really struggled in terms of guarding the 5. They got manhandled by Moses Brown on Sunday. The run out for Levi Randolph. Lead is back to 20. 25 points in Canton's favor back in the first quarter. Austin made it close by halftime, but they never made it slimmer than a 2-possession game.
Austin was able to cut into that lead by limiting transition opportunities for Canton, but then coming out of the second half, had a lot of turnovers that led to points off of turnovers, and that's been tough. You know, Austin, they have 19 turnovers, and Canton scored 23 points off of those turnovers. It's hard to cut into a lead when you're not getting possessions and you're giving them up.
Charge will take another timeout. And so Ignite would have the chance to become the first team to 5 wins tomorrow. Looking forward to that one with LaChina Robinson. For 12 seconds in the third quarter, it was a 6-point game. Otherwise, it's been at least a 3-possession difference. And Canton has controlled the second half, trying to put the finishing touches on its second win of the season with 3 minutes to go. They've alternated losses and wins through the first 4, and Sir Dom missing it off the rim. Jalen Morris on the Euro step, kind of moved into traffic instead of away from it. Morris, a great story, played at the Division II level, and in his second year in as a pro in the 18-19 season, got a G League call up to the NBA. Randolph knocking down a 27-footer.
That was a nice pull-up 3-pointer. Randolph said he's a journeyman and he's been all over and he's trying to make his dreams come true. I know they all are, but it was actually nice to watch a video of Levi Randolph talking about his journey and how he wants this year to be the year.
Yeah, a year ago, he briefly signed a two-way contract, so he got an NBA deal, but did not appear in any NBA games. A mainstay for Canton and in the G League, now in his 6th season out of Alabama. You know, for Canton going forward, this is much more the team I think Nate Ranking thought he was going to have. They won 67% of their games last year, returning much of that core along with some talented rookies. Eventually, they'll get back Marquise Bolden to man the middle. We'll also be interested to find out whether or not Norvell Pell rejoins the team. He was somebody that earned a call-up to the Brooklyn Nets and was recently cut. So if Pell decides to return to the G League, Canton has his G League rights. So don't know anything specifically, but just kind of talking out loud, Andrea, that maybe there'll be an addition to this team. And adding a big force in the middle as a shot blocker and rebounder, that would really shore up a weakness for the Charge.
Well, that would be huge because Canton has had a hard time at that position, at the rebounding margin and just having that presence down low. But I think if they do get those players, if they do get those additions, it'll be great to build off of this game because they've had a strong defensive presence today.
Seems that the night for Sir Dominic Pointer is over. 29 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 blocks as he checked out a moment ago. Austin again playing without Luka Šamanić, leading scorer and rebounder. And Canton took advantage. Jumped out to a 25-point first quarter lead, met some resistance into halftime, but really owned the second half. And I think if you're Nate Ranking, you have to be pleased with the effort that your team has put forth in his return to the sidelines.
Oh, yeah, they did a nice job, especially in the second half, at getting back to their bread and butter. Defense, causing turnovers, getting transition points, points off of turnovers. Their defense, their half-court defense, I was really impressed with the way that they plugged gaps, to limit trade zones. 3 for 12, just 10 points on the night. That's limiting him. When you limit his opportunities to get to the paint, he didn't have nearly as many paint touches. Still a strong performance for him with 8 assists. But for Canton, team defense, and I liked their movement on the offensive end as well in the half court.
Ranking said that he hadn't quite gotten a feel and a rhythm for his team yet. I think this game will go a long way to figuring that out as Mathis leans in to score. Austin will have to regroup behind their first-year head coach, Matt Nielsen. But a nice cushion to start the year at 4-0. And amazing to think that after today, with 5 games in the books, a third of the season has been played for the Spurs. Comes at you quick.
Oh, yeah, I was literally just about to say the games are happening so fast. This is going to be here and gone before we know it.
"18 teams are participating. The top 8 make the playoffs." A look at Sir Dom with one last word before securing the face mask. Antonio Blakeney padding the stats, 16 points off the bench. It's like, when is it too early to start looking at the standings? Canton was half a game out of a playoff spot entering today. Probably too early, but threw that in there anyway.
Well, I think that they can really build off of this performance. Sir Dominic Pointer showed up and showed out. I thought Dotson did a good job of running the show. Blakeney, like you said, off the bench, he did what he's supposed to do in looking to score and being aggressive. So players knowing their role, stepping up, and then Sir Dominic Pointer just taking